Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
Mema wakwaba e de ba PENDREAM TV so make sure say obe subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to our sabit me aka ntem no watie afa so make sure say obe like na wa comment no share ama afoforo so nsaka na comment section ho so no opese wo kire wadwen obetimi e de wadwen kire ato honom na amanfo so anya bia kenkan na onim say PENDREAM TV de eye nsem a ekoso Ghana yam politics mu ne de ba na yasaka ya ne de abranti na so me video I saka pese no che na ye de ba nti me mo modern astro so obehwe video we amana si awie na wa kire wa adwen e comment section na se yenko video.
Doc,
we're talking about $11 million dollars as if we're talking about 2,000 Ghana cedis.
How many times are we going to see things like this under this Akuffo Addo administration? There is a tall list of fantastic sums of money paid to people for absolutely no work done. $11 million. And the MPs posing this question are MPs from the Upper East region. That is where their constituencies are. If any work has gone on the ground, they would know. We have all traveled to the Upper East region. Indeed, I was there about 3 months ago. Our communicators took me to the site. It's become like the Keta Port site. Infamous for a lot of razzmatazz. You remember at the sword cutting, the president and the vice president boasted that it will be the biggest project Ghana has ever seen. No work. The place is overgrown with weeds. We are shell-shocked to realize that a colossal, a staggering $11 million. I mean, just think about what $11 million can do. Just take one issue, begging for attention. My fellow constituents who are still living in tents as we speak, $11 million will solve that crisis, that humanitarian crisis. They will all be moved out of the tents. They will get decent accommodation. $11 million. And I talk about a tall list. Doc, you are aware that as we speak, $12 million has been discovered by auditors to have been spent on the botched Ejapa deal. When Parliament, civil society organizations, all of us thought that we had successfully blocked the dubious Ejapa deal, the Auditor General reveals that apparently $12 million. And when they were asked to account, they say that office to rent in London, arrangements to be listed on the London Stock Exchange, $12 million. That is Ejapa. As we speak, Ghana has lost $2 million to another phony South African company that was ostensibly to provide a sky train for Ghana. Of all the things that the railway ministry should have been thinking about, see the disaster with the traditional land rails. If you look at where we were in terms of rail transport, even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were more advanced than now. But somebody thought it was a brilliant idea to forget about resuscitating the railways, and that it is time for Ghana to have a sky train. $2 million is lost as we speak. The phony South Africans have gotten away. We can't find them. That is not all. As we speak, the Sputnik V vaccine that we paid $2.4 million to these shonky sheikhs, dubious middlemen who did not have any credible links whatsoever with Moscow. Indeed, the ranking member on the health committee and I paid a courtesy call on the Russian ambassador to find out if they knew about this Sheikh Maktoum, who our former health minister was happy to deal with. The Russian ambassador told us in that meeting, following our oversight visit, to find out exactly if they know about this whole deal. They said that, look, we are here, we are an embassy, we will facilitate. If the health ministry had contacted us, we will give them direct access. These middlemen they are dealing with, we don't know them. We have checked with officialdom in Moscow. We don't know them. They don't have any authorization to deal with your government. That is what the Russian ambassador told us. We put out a statement after. The Russians have been denying it. It's a fact. The Ministry of Health, the Foreign Affairs Ministry, they have told us in Parliament that they did not route their request through the embassy. I mean, who does that? We even have an embassy in Moscow. We didn't think that any due diligence should be carried out. As we speak, this sheikh has promised to refund $2.4 million. It remains a promise. We don't have our money back. That is not all. We have been discussing here for some weeks how $49 million has been spent on the Buankra Inland Terminal and Logistics Project. $49 million in a very dubious transaction, totally violating what Parliament approved, Parliament's concessional agreement on this matter. A total violation. $49 million. There is no value for money. Indeed, the contention of the parties is that what has gone on there should not have been more than $4 million. That's what independent valuers are telling us. And yet $49 million has gone in there. No due process, no procurement, laws respected. And as we speak, the Ministry of Transport, the GPHA, the Shippers Authority, they will not even account to the Ghanaian people to justify the release of $49 million. And they are going for more loans. Cabinet has given them the green light to even go for more loans, to spend more. I mean, incredible. Look, I've saved the best for last. This country, we still are in shock at that hole that we see on a daily basis, which has cost the taxpayer $58.1 million. We are calling the National Cathedral pit, the world's most expensive pit. $58.1 million. I mean, think about $58.1 million, what it can do. You know, recently when I was invited as guest speaker to Supplies Overseas, the annual fundraising dinner, to support our hospital project in the constituency. When I arrived, the biggest news in Kentucky is that the state of Kentucky has spent $50 million, just $50 million, to open an opportunity center, a magnificent edifice. Very, very, very beautiful. Imposing for the youth. And you have all the, tech companies, you have the top 1,400 companies, all of them having, stands there where you can go and apply for jobs, and they're advertising new, products. Only $50 million, and this was the biggest stock in the United States. We have spent $58.1 million